In this video, we will be going through how to perform both coding testing and formal coding, as well as calculating intercoder reliability and inviting other coders to join your research project. Let's first begin by adding additional members into your research project. To do that, navigate over to the Project Settings tab on the bottom of the sidebar, and you should see Project Information and Member Management. Project Information is where you can rename your project, as well as keep track of the different capacities within your project. Member Management is where you can add new members and keep track of existing ones. To add a new member, click on Invite. There's two ways you can add someone into a project. Either enter their email under the search and add bar and click Add, or send them a link by clicking Copy and pasting it from your clipboard to someone. There's also two roles that a person can come in as: administrator and a coder. The difference between the two lies in the permissions or the capabilities that they have within your project. An administrator has unlimited permissions, which means that they are able to perform all functions, including uploading data, setting categories in the codebook, doing statistical analysis, and everything else. Whereas a coder is only able to perform formal coding and the coding test. You're also able to change a person's role in the member management screen, so it's okay if you make a mistake if you invite someone. Moving on, let's talk about reliability test. To begin your coding tests, you have to make sure that you fulfilled a few prerequisites. First, you must have uploaded your data into a database and moved some records into a test library. To do that, move over to the coding library, select the database in which you want to move to the test library, and either handpick a few or randomly sample a few articles to move into your test library. Over here, I have 5 in the video pool that I did beforehand. You must also make sure that you've already set at least one category with a few options in your codebook. Once you go to coding test and click on the right database, you can see that under the test library, the 5 that we've chosen will be here. The test library is only used for the reliability test. So for the actual coding itself, it will be everything within the coding library. Over here on the left is the article displayed in the display format that we chose when we uploaded our data into the database. On the right side is our category from our codebook, as well as all the respective options that we made earlier. The way it would work is you'd begin your coding and you choose an option from the right side. Say I pick no poverty here, and I'd save that, and then it would now be saved, and I'd go on to the next one, and I'd say maybe this one is partnership for the goals, and I'd move on. Now we move on to something with a yellow highlight, and what this yellow highlight means is that the machine has picked up on a keyword that you've set in your codebook itself. So you see gender equality is already pre-ticked and it has machine suggestion on the right side. So the keyword options that you set in your codebook has matched something in the article, and so the machine has picked this option. Of course, you can always untick it or tick something else, but this is just what the machine will choose when it does its machine coding itself. So I can save this one as well. I might say this one's reduced inequalities, good health, gender equality. And you see that, oh, maybe I made a mistake in the previous one. You can always go back here to review. And what this brings up is a list of all the manually coded articles that have been done. So maybe just now I made a mistake. This is not good health and well-being. Then I can untick it, click save, and I'd move on to the next article and be able to edit. So here I go with something else, and say this article also talks about something that I think is not represented by the machine, or something that I'm not sure of. Maybe this is reduced inequalities, but I'm not so sure. I could always leave a remark on this specific article and say, example here, or not sure about gender equality. And I might say that and leave a message for all the other administrators to be able to view. So that's how that would work. And with this, you can always go back and refine keywords in your codebook if you're able to find stuff that maybe doesn't match the machine or that you think aren't picked up, or that you didn't account for. So let me save this one. Finally, the last thing you're able to do is change the font styles. So you can make the font smaller or larger if you're not able to see, as well as change the color depending on your preference. So here, I'd say this one is strong institutions. And I tick that. And now that that's done, the video pool is empty because I've manually coded all 5. And I can come over to reliability calculations to start doing the intercoder reliability for the 5 from the test library. So I pick the right database, and here you can see a few buttons. Over here at coder, you can select the coders that you wish to compare. Let's say I want to compare me, and well, these are the other associates. However, they didn't do any of the coding, but I click them anyway, just to showcase. And here you can choose the reliability index which you want. So currently we have 4. As you can see, they're all right here. So I pick the coders that I want to compare, I pick the index that I want, and I click calculate. And you could see the index between each respective member. So demo and admin, demo and Lawrence, admin and Lawrence. You'll be able to see it like this. Say I wanted to compare with the machine instead. I click robot over here, and I'd go calculate. But if you did that, it would be an error because you have to first make sure if you're comparing with the machine coding, you click get machine coding reliability test results over here. And this is important to make sure, otherwise it wouldn't work at all. Wait until your results are retrieved, then click calculate. And now you can see your index with the robot itself. So that's how you would calculate intercoder reliability. And the last thing you can be able to do is coding tracking. This is where you can see all the articles that have been manually coded and see who chose what. So say we have multiple coders who all agreed on different stuff, you might be able to see their tags under the individual options that they chose. For example, over here, you can see what I chose and what the robot chose as well. There's also the button of export test data in all 3. And what export test data does is it exports all the options that you chose, basically this list, into a .csv file onto your local drive. Moving on to formal coding. So say you've reached an acceptable level of intercoder reliability and you want to start formal coding. Well, the good thing about formal coding is it works the exact same way as it does in the coding test. So you'd go on and you pick the options that you want. You go, you click, you'd save it, and you move on. Everything here works the exact same as in the reliability test, except this time the coding comes from the coding library itself, not from the test library. With that, I've explained reliability test, coding, and project settings.